Hey, so continuing just a little thing I was doing about weird and fucked up stories about my life. Um, Actually, I did a video about this place a long time ago about when I used to live here. It's 22nd Street in Toronto, um, New Toronto area, right on the border of where Mimico, sorry, not Mimico, Long Branch and New Toronto kind of meet. I think this side of the street is Long Branch, and that side would be New Toronto. At least when you're up on Lakeshore, I think that's how it works. Anyway, this one is I mentioned briefly when I made the video about living here that it was haunted. So I'm just going to touch up on that. Just a few things that happened. Nothing particularly scary. Just things I've witnessed. There goes the train. Exciting stuff. But yeah, there was three things that I can remember happening. The first one was it's a 3-bedroom apartment, 2 rooms in the back, one in the I guess on the side behind the kitchen. So I used to have that front room when I was young, and my aunt was living here at the time, and she was staying in the back room at the time, and my parents were staying in the larger room, the master bedroom, whatever it's called, in the back. So anyway, yeah, I was in bed one night, and my bedroom had 2 beds in it, one on one side, one on the other. For whatever reason, I don't know, I can't remember why. But so anyway, I'm in my bed one night, I'm sleeping, and I just felt this little tickle on my side, and it kind of woke me up, and I didn't know what it was, or if I was dreaming, or what it was. And then maybe a minute later, I felt the same thing, like a tickle, and then like a jab, like something had jabbed me in the side, and it woke me right up, and I freaked out and ran out into the living room and told my parents, sit down, and told my parents about it. And then my dad just kind of moved me to the other bed. The other bed had a kind of a shiny, smooth wooden side, and they just kind of told me it was probably a bug or something. And okay, so I went back to sleep. So skip ahead a couple months, and I'm in my room now. I have a cousin who lived a couple miles up the road on Lakeshore, right near where the Mississauga border meets Toronto area, like kind of around there. And they used to come over, my cousin, my aunt, and uncle, and she was a little kid at the time, like little, like I'm talking toddler age at the oldest. And I thought I heard somebody, a little kid, running down the hall. This is my room. I was in the back room at this point, and my aunt had moved out, so I moved to a different room. And I heard sound like a kid running down the hall. So I came out and looked, and it sounded like someone running down the hall and then going into my parents' room, which was right next to mine. So I go and look, and I don't see anybody. Like, okay, and I asked my dad. I said, "Is my cousin here?" I'm not gonna say her name necessarily, but and he said, "No, why would she be here?" And I said, "Oh, okay." And I was a little confused, and I didn't really think too much of it. I went back in my room. Now skip ahead another couple weeks. I was in my room, and at this point I had bunk beds, and I was sitting on the bottom bunk, and I had this little game. It was like a target game, and like a little gun, and it was like basically a box. Think of like an old style TV. That's kind of what it was shaped like. Had a clear front to it, and a bunch of metal ball bearings. And the gun had a magnet in it, so you'd take the gun and you'd pick up the ball bearing, and then you'd shoot at the various targets. And so I'm playing this game, and then I look up. Now keep in mind, when I lived here, I was 7 years old when I lived here, maybe 7 turning 8. So when so I was pretty small. Sorry, I got distracted. I saw a dog. So anyway, so yeah, I'm sitting there, and I look up, and I seen the shape of like a small person just kind of sitting right behind the game I was playing. And slowly, it didn't have any features. It was shaped like, it was like shoulders, neck, and the shape of a head, and it had like a weird kind of thing on the top of its head. But it was just more or less an outline that I could see through, and it just kind of sunk down into the bed. And I was like, what? And then I thought to myself, was that a ghost? Because I really didn't know what I was looking at. So I looked under the bed, like thinking something went through the bed, like a ghost. And my mom just happened to come in the room at the time, And she looks and she says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I saw a ghost." And she's kind of like, "Okay, whatever," laughed it off and left. Then I found out years later. Now I don't know if this is 100% true, but there is there's a college here, and it used to be a like a movie. It was made movies there too. Like Police Academy was made there, and before that it was I guess an insane asylum, whatever you want to call it, a hospital for I don't know what the real name is, what they call them these days, but an insane asylum. And I found out that, you know, of course, places like that, terrible things can happen. Some of the patients, they get sexually assaulted and at times get pregnant. So I found out, now again, I don't know if this is 100% accurate. I looked it up and I found a little vague things about it, but nothing substantial. But the babies, they would get pregnant and they would have to get rid of the babies because it's evidence of things that were going on, and they buried them in a field in this general area, and they then they put like an orchard or something, grew an orchard above it to kind of hide it. I don't know 100% if that's true, but it makes for an interesting story, and maybe a reason why there'd be like a child's ghost here, or maybe just somebody happened, the child died in the apartment I was in. I don't know. All I know is what I saw at 7 or 8 years old. But yeah, that's kind of all I gotta say. Just a little bit of insight in my past about air, and I hadn't done a story, my life, fucked up or funny story about my life in a few weeks, so I thought I should do one soon. Anyway, so yeah, the place, I don't know if it still is, but it was haunted at the time, and just kind of interesting. Just curious if anyone else that has lived here since then experienced anything or saw anything, or maybe it was just a one-time thing. I don't know. Anyway, that's about it for that, and I'm gonna get on my way. I got my bike waiting, a couple beers in my bag, and I guess, yeah, until the next one.